I wasn't supposed to stay this long. That thought kept circling my head as I sat there, hands wrapped around a mug that had long gone cold. The wedding was over hours ago, laughter and music fading into the night, yet somehow I was still in her kitchen. Just her and me. Her. The bride's mother. She leaned against the counter, sleeves pushed back, a faint smear of lipstick still holding onto the corner of her mouth. Her heels were abandoned somewhere by the door, and she stood barefoot on the tiles like she owned every quiet inch of this house. She wasn't dressed for the party anymore, but she wasn't entirely undone either, hair pinned loosely, a silk wrap draped around her shoulders. I tried not to look too long, but every time my eyes dropped to the mug, I felt hers on me. Sharp, curious, unhurried. "You don't have to keep drinking that," she said finally, nodding at the coffee. "It's stone cold." "I know," I admitted, forcing a laugh. "Guess I just don't know what to do with my hands." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, not quite disapproval. Something in between. "Nervous?" "No," I lied too quickly. My fingers tightened around the cup. She didn't answer, but I caught the way her eyebrow arched, the silence settling heavy between us. The kind of silence where you're hyper-aware of every small sound, the hum of the fridge, the tick of the clock, even the soft hitch of her breathing. I wanted to say something else, anything to push the tension off me. But instead I watched as she crossed the room, slow steps against the tile, until she stood close enough that I caught the faint trace of her perfume, vanilla, but deeper, with something darker I couldn't name. "You're younger than I thought," she said at last, and though her tone was light, her eyes stayed fixed on me in a way that made my throat dry. "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" Her shoulder lifted, delicate, dismissive. "That depends." The words dangled there, and for a second I forgot how to breathe. She was teasing, maybe, but not cruelly. It was something else. Something that pulled me closer without her moving at all. I set the cup down on the table just to give my hands a task. My palms still tingled. "I didn't mean to overstay," I said, finally breaking. "Everyone else left hours ago. I should probably. You're not leaving until morning." She said it so simply I almost didn't catch the weight in it. Her voice wasn't sharp, wasn't demanding, but there was no room for argument either. Like it was both an invitation and a command, wrapped in the same breath. The air thickened. I glanced toward the door, then back to her. My chest felt too tight for how still I was sitting. She didn't move closer. She didn't have to. Just stood there, arms folded lightly, watching me with that steady patience, the kind that asks questions without ever speaking them. My mouth opened, closed. I wanted to answer, to joke, to agree, to ask why, but the sound never came. The clock ticked again. And then, the sharp vibration of a phone on the counter. Loud in the silence. Her gaze flicked toward it, but her body stayed perfectly still. I looked down. My phone. Screen lit up. One new message. From her daughter. The phone kept buzzing against the counter, her daughter's name glowing bright on the screen. I didn't move to pick it up. Couldn't. She didn't look at me, but I knew she was listening for what I'd do next. The silence stretched until the vibration stopped, leaving a faint hum of tension in its place. Finally, I cleared my throat. "I should probably answer that." Her eyes lifted to mine, steady, unreadable. "Should you?" There it was. That quiet challenge she carried in her voice, as if every word was another line I wasn't sure I should cross. I reached for the phone, but my hand hesitated just short of it. I let it fade to black. "I'm not," I started, then stopped. My tongue felt too heavy. "You're not what?" she pressed gently. "Not supposed to be here this late," I said, forcing a laugh that landed thin. "Your daughter would kill me if she knew." Her expression flickered, a mix of amusement and something else, something harder. "She doesn't know you as I do." That hit deeper than I expected. I almost asked her what she meant, but the weight in her voice told me I shouldn't. Not yet. Instead, I leaned back in the chair, tried to sound casual. "So what do you know about me?" Her lips curved into a faint smile, but she didn't rush. She crossed the room again, this time slower, pulling her wrap tighter around her shoulders as if bracing herself. I know you're too polite to leave without permission. I know you talk when you're nervous. And she stopped across from me, resting her hand on the back of the chair. Her fingers lingered there, tapping once. You remind me of someone I used to know. A long time ago. I wanted to ask who, but the softness in her tone made me hold my breath instead. There was a story there. Maybe a scar. She broke eye contact first, moving to pour herself a glass of water. I was 23 when I married. Thought I knew everything. Thought love was simple. She sipped, set the glass down carefully. Turns out I was wrong. Her back was to me, but her shoulders betrayed her, just slightly slumped, as if the memory pressed down harder than she wanted to admit. I swallowed, my chest tightening. And now? She glanced over her shoulder, eyes catching mine with an intensity that almost made me look away. Now I know it's never simple. The room felt smaller. Warmer. Too close. I thought about her daughter upstairs, her friend, the one who had pulled me into this family celebration like it was nothing. And here I was, alone in the kitchen with her mother, fighting the urge to admit I didn't want to leave. That I couldn't. I rubbed the back of my neck, trying to ground myself. You make it sound like a warning. Maybe it is, she said softly. I stood without meaning to, the chair legs scraping against the floor. She tensed just slightly at the sound, then let out a quiet breath. Our eyes locked, either of us moving closer. But then her hand brushed the edge of the table, and I swear the distance between us shrank without a single step. The silence returned, heavy, electric. Her fingers tapped once against the wood, then stilled. I reached out, without thinking, and let my hand rest on the same spot, barely an inch from hers. We didn't touch. Not yet. But the air between us felt like fire. Her hand stayed there on the table, close enough that if I leaned just a little, my fingers would graze hers. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But the moment cracked. A creak from the hallway. Floorboards shifting under someone's weight. We both froze. Her eyes darted toward the doorway, and for a second I thought her daughter had come down, or worse, her ex-husband. My chest tightened. My body wanted to move away, but my legs stayed rooted. The sound stopped. Silence. Just the hum of the fridge again. Her gaze flicked back to mine, sharper this time, almost accusing, as if I had conjured the noise myself. You should go, she whispered, though her voice trembled with a note that didn't match the words. You said I couldn't leave until morning. I reminded her, softer than I meant to. She didn't answer. Her jaw tightened, her shoulders squared. She turned back to the counter, gripping the edge like it was the only thing holding her steady. I swallowed hard. You're worried someone will see. That's not it. Quick. Too quick. The way she avoided my eyes said otherwise. I stepped closer. Not touching, just enough that the space between us shrank again. Then what is it? Her breath hitched. She shook her head. You don't understand. Then explain. She let out a low laugh, bitter and tired all at once. You're 25. You think attraction solves everything. But attraction is messy. Dangerous. And She cut herself off, biting her lip. Her hands trembled against the counter before she pulled them away. I stared at her, at the faint lines near her eyes, at the strength in her posture that didn't hide how vulnerable she felt in this moment. And all I wanted was to close the distance. I don't care how messy it is, I said, almost daring her to look at me. Her head turned slowly. Our eyes caught. And just like that, we were leaning in. Inches apart. Her breath mingled with mine. The warmth of her skin so close it made my pulse race. Then a knock at the back door. We jolted apart. She spun toward the sound, her wrap slipping from her shoulder. My heart slammed against my ribs. Another knock. Louder this time. Her voice was tight. It's him. I didn't need to ask who. The sudden panic in her eyes said enough. She moved fast, gathering herself, tugging the silk back over her shoulder, smoothing her hair like muscle memory. I stood there useless, every nerve in my body firing at once. "You need to go," she hissed. "Now." But my feet didn't move. Not because I wanted to stay, but because I couldn't. Not when her hand brushed mine as she passed, not when her eyes lingered 1 second too long before she turned toward the door. Another knock rattled the frame, this time followed by a voice. Low. Male. Firm. "Open up." She froze, back straight, hand hovering over the handle. And I couldn't decide if leaving was even an option anymore. The knock came again, harder this time. Her shoulders stiffened, but she didn't open the door. For a moment, I thought she wouldn't. "Are you going to?" My voice broke. "Sure." She raised a hand, sharp, commanding. Not at me, but at the storm pressing against the wood. The silence on the other side stretched too long, then footsteps faded away into the night. Her hand dropped. She exhaled, shaky, leaning against the door as if her own weight betrayed her. I wanted to ask who it was. I already knew. And I didn't want to hear the answer. Instead I said, "You're shaking." Her laugh came sharp, bitter. "Of course I am. You shouldn't even be here. This," she gestured between us, frustration spilling into her movements. "This is insane." I stepped closer, careful, but not careful enough. "Then why can't I leave?" Her head snapped toward me, eyes blazing. For a second, I thought she'd shove me out the door. But her words cut deeper than her anger. "Because I don't want you to." The air cracked. She blinked like she'd surprised herself, then pressed a hand over her mouth, shaking her head. God, I shouldn't have said that. But it was too late. The words hung heavy between us, impossible to pull back. I swallowed, my throat dry. "Say it again." She looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "Don't. Say it." My voice was quiet, almost pleading. Her hands trembled as she gripped the counter, knuckles whitening. "You think this is some kind of fantasy? That you'll waltz in here, make me forget 20 years of mistakes, and what, wake up clean tomorrow? You have no idea what this costs me." Her voice cracked on the last word. My chest tightened. I wanted to reach for her, but something held me back, fear, respect, or maybe the sheer magnitude of the moment. "Then tell me to go," I said finally. "Tell me, and I'll walk out right now." She froze. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Her eyes glistened, too sharp to be only anger. The silence stretched, unbearable. "I can't," she whispered at last. That was it. The breaking point. The confession she couldn't take back. I closed the gap, my hand hovering near her arm but not quite touching. The warmth radiating off her skin pulled me in like gravity. Her breath stuttered. "This is wrong." "Then why does it feel?" My words caught, choked off by the weight of what I was about to admit. "Why does it feel like the only thing that's ever been right?" Her gaze locked on mine, fierce, unflinching now. Desire. Fear. Years of restraint collapsing in a single look. We stood like that, inches apart, both of us trembling with what we wouldn't say. And then she leaned in. Her lips were so close I could feel the ghost of her breath on mine. One more inch, and the silence would have broken. But the sound broke first. A phone buzzing again, sharp, insistent. This time it wasn't mine. She flinched, stepped back, reached into the pocket of her wrap. The glow of her screen lit her face pale. Her hand shook as she read the message. "What is it?" I asked, pulse still hammering in my throat. She didn't answer. Just tightened her grip on the phone, jaw locked. I stepped closer. "Tell me." Her eyes flicked to mine, not desire this time, but something colder, almost terrified. "She knows." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean she knows?" She shoved the phone toward me. A single line stared back from her daughter's message. "I saw you with him. Don't pretend. We'll talk in the morning." I swear my knees went weak. Her daughter. My friend. The bride. The kitchen air, so thick with heat seconds ago, now turned suffocating. I backed away, palms clammy, searching for air that wasn't there. She can't mean me. Maybe it's about someone else. Don't lie to yourself, she said sharply, though her voice broke halfway through. She saw. And now everything. Her hand covered her mouth. Everything is ruined. I ran a hand through my hair, pacing. We didn't even, it doesn't matter, she snapped, louder than she meant to. Her body jerked toward the door, like the whole house could hear. It doesn't matter what did or didn't happen. Perception is enough. Do you understand what that means? The panic in her voice tore through me. She wasn't just scared for herself, she was scared for me too. I can fix this, I said quickly, desperate. I'll talk to her, explain. No. She cut in, her voice low, trembling but fierce. If you say a word, it only proves her right. The more you fight it, the deeper the wound gets. I froze, staring at her. So what do you want me to do? Pretend nothing's here? Pretend I don't. My throat caught. The words almost slipped out. She turned, eyes blazing, desperate and fragile all at once. Yes. Pretend. For both our sakes. The words slammed into me like a punch. Pretend. All the heat, the closeness, the risk. Suddenly it felt like I'd been pushed outside, left staring through a window I'd never be allowed to open again. I shook my head, unable to stop myself. You're asking me to be invisible. Her lips parted, and for a second I thought she'd soften, tell me I was wrong. Instead she whispered, I'm asking you to survive this. The words cut sharper than any rejection. And in that silence, my phone buzzed again on the table. Another message. This time not from her daughter. From him. The same voice that had knocked on the door earlier. I know he's still there. We need to talk. Now. The second message glowed on my screen like fire I couldn't put out. I know he's still there. We need to talk. Now. I lifted my eyes, and she was already staring at me. Pale, steady, braced for a war she'd been fighting alone for years. Her hand hovered over the counter, trembling, then dropped flat against it as if she needed the wood to hold her upright. You have to go, she whispered. No. The words slipped out before I could stop it. Too sharp, too certain. Her head jerked up. Don't be foolish, I'm not leaving you like this. I stepped forward, closing the gap she kept trying to widen. My voice cracked, rough with something I didn't want to name. Do you think I don't see it? How tired you are of pretending. He knows, she knows, everyone's already decided what we are. So why can't we decide too? Her lips parted, but no sound came. Her chest rose and fell like every breath hurt. You'll regret this, she said finally. Tomorrow, a week from now, when the dust settles, you'll hate me for letting you stay. Then let me regret it. I shot back. At least it'll be real. The words hung there, jagged, dangerous. Her eyes glistened, and she looked away, pressing her knuckles against her mouth like she could shove the emotion back down where it belonged. But then she broke, just slightly, just enough. A whisper slipped out. I've spent half my life making choices out of fear. And look where it left me. The silence swallowed us both. I reached out, finally, fingers brushing hers on the counter. She didn't pull away. Her skin was cool, trembling under mine. For a moment it was enough, that single, fragile contact that carried years of unspoken longing. Then a sharp knock rattled the door again, louder, urgent. His voice followed, cutting through the walls. Open up. Now. Her hand gripped mine tight, desperate. Not letting me go, but not pulling me closer either. This is it, she whispered, eyes searching mine like the whole world lived in that look. If you stay, there's no turning back. If you go, we survive. Quiet. Invisible. Like it never happened. Her words cracked me open. Stay and lose everything. Go and lose her. I swallowed hard, my pulse roaring in my ears. So what do you want? Her breath hitched. Her lips trembled. She leaned in, her forehead almost touching mine. I want. Another bang on the door. A voice sharper this time. Enough games. I'm coming in. We both flinched, clinging to the last second of silence before the storm broke. Her hands stayed locked in mine, and neither of us moved. The pounding on the door didn't stop. His voice tore through the walls, sharp, insistent, impossible to ignore. She gripped my hand harder, nails digging into my skin, her eyes locked on mine like she was trying to memorize me in this exact moment. I can't let you get caught in this, she whispered, breath trembling against my cheek. Then don't let go, I said, my own words raw, breaking. Her eyes closed for half a second, like the weight of it all was too much. And when she opened them again, something had changed. The fear was still there, but it wasn't alone anymore. There was a fire in it too. Another slam shook the frame. She pulled her hand from mine, took a deep breath, and straightened her shoulders. Go through the back, she whispered. Now. Before this turns into something we can't fix. No, I said again, but softer this time. Not defiance, just pleading. Her lips curved, faint and sad. You're too young to understand what's worth burning down. And I'm too old to let you make that mistake for me. That cut deeper than any rejection. I wanted to argue, to fight, to tell her I didn't care, but when I saw her, standing there in the dim kitchen light, holding herself together against everything pressing down on her, I understood. She wasn't pushing me away because she didn't feel it. She was pushing me away because she did. My chest ached as I stepped back. The cold air rushed in where her warmth had been. Will I ever see you again? I asked, voice barely steady. Her eyes softened, glassy now, as though the question itself cracked something open inside her. She reached up, her fingertips brushing my face, so light I almost thought I imagined it. You'll see me in every choice you make from now on, she said quietly. And I'll see you in every one I couldn't. The words tore something open in me, and I knew then, this was the closest we would ever come. The banging grew louder. His shadow moved against the glass pane of the door. Time was gone. I backed toward the kitchen side entrance, every step a fight against myself. My hand brushed the doorknob, but I couldn't stop looking at her, standing tall, hair loose, wraps slipping again from her shoulder, like a figure caught between ruin and freedom. Our eyes locked one last time. No words. Just that look, too full of everything to ever be forgotten. Then I slipped out into the night. The air was cold. The world outside felt wrong without her. But my chest carried something I hadn't had before, the truth of what we almost were, and the ache of what we never could be. Maybe that was enough. Maybe it had to be.